and will still be able to fight you later on, say comboing with Phoenix or something else.
And very, very big difference you can already see between the Chinese bans here and what we saw of the Western squads. The Wisp left untouched into the pool. That's the most banned hero, not surprisingly, of the tournament so far. The Sand King, which is the most picked hero so far in our tournament, although only 2 and 5, still on the table for both teams as well.
I think the adjustment that both these teams should make in this series and moving on is that in this series, I don't think you need to be as worried about what TNC or rest of Liquid's do, because I feel like this is more or less quote-unquote in-house scrim. Is it like you have a different strategy when you're drafting and banning against the Chinese team as opposed to quote-unquote a foreign team, right? So I think this series is going to be a longer series, more like a 6.0 or 7.05 patch. Both these teams are still comfortable playing what was played a month ago, I think.
See, I think, to me, I look at these two teams, and I think you gotta take a risk here. You've had a little bit of a setback. I think you need to play the kind of Dota in this series that's not just going to win you these games, but that's going to give you a better chance in the tournament. This is your best practice. And I really want to see, as we talk about heroes for today, I really want to see the Lifestealer and the Juggernaut. Those are two heroes. We've got 3 players in Burning, Loda, and Aggressive that are all in the top 6 all-time win totals on those heroes, and insane stats. We're talking like KDAs of like 7.0 on the Lifestealer for those players. I really want to see those aggressive carries capable of mixing it up with 2 small items.
But it's like you said, are you picking for this patch or are you picking for comfort?
I think you have to pick to give yourself a chance to win the tournament. Right? You're except for IG, okay? IG is probably the only one of the 8 teams that comes in here feeling confident about a direct invite to TI. If you're VGJ, I want to see you pick the kind of strats that are going to win games going forward, not just in this series.
Okay, we're going to see pretty standard support picks from both sides, and all of these supports shown here so far could play both sides, right?
Yes.
You could go for a slower game if you like to, or if you could amp up the aggression, you can as well.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a lot more double support opens. That was very rare in the previous patch, and I think you're going to see a lot more supports banned in the first phase, especially in the early days of this patch. There's the Sand King, so that's going to be the 8th appearance for that hero already, and the Jakiro. So obviously Jakiro started off 4-0 with TNC, stumbled a little bit last night. We saw Newbie lose 2 games with that hero, but IG still valuing it highly, picking it up in the first phase. And although the Sand King, of course, can step into that off-lane position, entirely possible that we're seeing all 4 supports on both sides in the first 4 picks.
Yeah, and what you'll see a lot with Chinese teams playing each other is if they can't ban all the heroes that the other team wants, they'll start picking them themselves. So for Kunkka, this is something like the Kunkka CM combo is something that the VGJ and other teams have run, and kind of taking that into their own hands. Also, the Jakiro is something that Q played quite a bit. I think some teams and some other teams were even Western teams talking to them. Some of them were like kind of cracking on him a little bit. They're like, "Oh, if you're Q, pick Jakiro all the time." And in the past, Chinese fans have also said that Q is kind of pretending to think about the draft, but he's going to end up going Lifestealer Jakiro or something like that. So it's a hero that, again, TNC used very effectively against them and all throughout the first day of the tournament. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up, because it's funny how you hear talk about all of IG's players. Q is probably the one that gets talked about the least, and he's only a guy that captained a team to the TI Grand Final. So not a bad captain and drafter.
ROTK also captain to the TI Grand Final, so there's a lot of history. Yep. So I'm glad you brought up the Jakiro that Newbie played, because I felt like it was a very different type of Jakiro compared to what TNC played. A lot of people, when they see Jakiro, they're like, okay, Liquid Fire to the tower, and that's what both Theben as well as a Newbie did with the Jakiro. But the difference there was Theben was making a lot of roaming ganks work in the early game, allowing the rest of the team to play aggressive, whereas I feel like the Newbie Jakiro just did the Liquid Fire thing. And I think if you're just doing the Liquid Fire thing, Jakiro is losing a lot of his early game powers that you could get elsewhere. So I wonder if IG is going to just do the Liquid Fire thing, or are they going to double up with Kunkka and go for the double roam? Because we saw double roam support is the way to play this patch. That's at least how I feel.
Yeah, and you know what? I wasn't convinced of that. You made that point on the panel the other day. I wasn't convinced of that after TNC's first series, because they got off to very strong starts in lanes, which enables those supports to roam. But in the second series that they played, they got a little bit more pressured early on in lane and still were able to make those roaming plays on the support. So I'm very much on board with you on that.
And through the draft for IG, so you could see the Tidehunter ban and ROTK stable, and it was good on the one game that they took off of Alliance yesterday. And as far as we talked about Tide being one of the heroes that could benefit from this meta and being more self-sufficient and benefiting from that initial laning. And then you look at the other bans they've come out with, the Ursa and Lifestealer, both 2 tempo carries that if you expect VGJ to play faster in this patch, that aggressive excels on. He's great. He's a great carry player at finding the right time to go and fight and the right time to go and farm. Just like finding the right time to do everything for his team and to set the pace. And so if you want to deal with this squad, I think those are good bans coming up.
Yeah, and aggressive. Burning is the all-time pro leader on wins on Juggernaut, but aggressive is top 5 as well. Very, very good on that hero. It's also, this is a theme that you guys alluded to earlier. We've seen teams using those picks to take away heroes from the other team.
Sure.
I think the Juggernaut would have been an excellent pick for IG.
Now, Juggernaut, within the context of yesterday's pick and ban, he was mostly banned for the healing ward, because when teams picked up the Lone Druid, you definitely don't want him to have the healing ward to back it up. But I think within this game's context, it's more for his versatility, the fact that he could fight early and still transition late. So you can see that this hero has a lot of multifaceted uses just within the context of different drafts. So I think VGJ mostly is going to be looking Jug as a kind of semi-carry that could transition late. But if they want to throw a wrench into IG's drafting plan, if a Lone Druid comes out, then this draft really changes shape.
Well, it's also nice in that one of the things we talked about, in addition to finding a solution for Boboka, is you have to find a solution for OP mid, where they've been a little bit uncertain lately, and the Juggernaut does take away that Ember pick, right? Because they can always get the very favorable matchup there in the mid lane. And this is something I always marvel, the drafting in Pro Dota 2 overall has just gotten so much better and so much more sophisticated over time that you see more and more the third pick being used as a takeaway pick, not only taking the hero away from the other team, but also blocking some of the other team's strategic options in terms of their picks.
Juggernaut works well for several other reasons. If you look at the control coming out from IG, it can be seen as either favoring counter initiation other than early roams, or as this so-called the Chinese will differentiate between soft control and hard control.
I wish I brought that up. That Troll Warlord is one of the few heroes that Juggernaut really fears, because of course Jug is used to being able to go to his spin and be unstunnable. Troll can just walk up to the Juggernaut and man fight him, and Juggernaut's spin doesn't do any good when he's getting bashed.
Right, so back to your point of the soft control versus hard control, I guess the two support, the Jakiro and the Kunkka, has no way to control the Juggernaut spin, but now Troll adds a pseudo hard control. Is that a way to extend that analogy?
So the soft control, it's not usually not instant speed. There'll be cast animation kind of set up for it. So the Juggernaut obviously, ideally will be able to spin out of that, but you want to usually be minimizing your time spinning against the Troll Warlord, just because he can come in and chop you down. Your Omni Slash usage becomes a bit more stressed, because early on, you still have that kill potential, but later on you have to get a lot out of it, or it has to come at the right time before you can be bursted down, but before they can spread out and mitigate that damage. So it becomes kind of a harder core to play against for a lot of melee carries.
I'm very curious whether this Bristleback is going to be taking a page out of the mind control playbook, the double early mech that we saw in Liquid's early victory. Or are we going to see a little bit more traditional, like the Vanguard, Solar Crest, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm interested to see that. With the removal of the shrines, the Mango now building into Soul Ring is one of the few sort of bones that was thrown to offlaners in 7.06, and we saw Mind Control make good use of that yesterday on his Bristleback. I do like the Bristleback pick against the Troll, because Troll, although he has that evasion, he has decent armor, but it's not armor at the level of a Naga or a Terrorblade, so he still is vulnerable from the physical damage to those quills, which you cannot evade.
We saw this pick against Troll yesterday. Obviously, the Crystal Maiden is a great natural partner for the Bristleback and his lane sustainability. Troll is a hero that has a tough time dealing with Bristle, because you don't really have the burst damage that early to bring him down, especially with his backturn. And that's also a soft control, control issue as well. The supports will have a harder time zoning him out if he gets off to a good start. So it's a nice pick for them, and it creates that option you said of the sustain, the heal coming out from the Juggernaut to spearhead a quicker push for them.
I do worry a little bit about the Death Prophet versus the Bristleback. That's not that favorable a matchup for DP, because of course Bristle can turn his back and get the damage reduction against the Exorcism Spirits, and DP You know, the small strength buff growth that she got that all heroes got in 7.06, in addition to the strength buff growth that she got in the previous patch 7.05, will help with her mid-game HP, but she doesn't necessarily want to build HP items super early.
We saw this yesterday, the XSS Enigma. Yeah. He was really pressured into hitting some key black holes, and I think this game is more or less the same situation. At the same time, the frontliner of DP, it depends on what build that OP goes for. I think the super build that from LGD has been super successful. He actually maxed Spirit Siphon. Oh, here comes a sniper.
Oh my, okay.
Well, that's the game plan for IG here, right? So we mentioned how their supports have a lot of counter initiation as well. The Enigma is certainly huge in that department. So DP and Troll as a frontliner, DP being a relatively tanky frontliner, the Yules having utility against what the VGJ heroes bring, and then protecting that with the big ult and counter initiation. That's going to be the crux of their game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people talk about Enigma getting stunned and him having to protect, but an important aspect of that is his supports protect him. And you've got two in Jakiro and Kunkka that have some long-range options to push those enemy supports away from the fight. So guys, quick predictions here for game one of IG and VGJ as you see the EGB.com odds on the bottom of the screen. Go ahead, guys.
Go first. I'm going to go with VGJ. I think their lanes are better. Sniper is going to have the advantage over DP. And then I think Enigma is going to suffer quite a bit against Juggernaut. So I feel like VGJ will win 2 out of 3 lanes, and they should be able to dominate off the snowball.
Not too much time to digest that sniper pick, but yeah, I do think that there's some potential gap closing issues for IG onto the sniper. I wonder if they'll be able to form the push with the itemization that they want. I kind of like VGJ in this one too.
I'm going to go with IG, make it a split decision. I think they're the slightly better team, and I think that the OP mid lane is going to go better than you guys think. I like those. I like the play of that support duo for IG to carry them through. So with that, let's get day 3, elimination day started. We're going to throw it out to our casters. Here are Lyrical and Merlini.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're here, game number 1. We got a hell of a lot of them that are coming up soon. Ben, you saw the sniper pick there, the XSS Enigma
Dude, we've
as
come
well.
Full circle.
I know, it's happening.
Troll sniper.
It's a sad day. I'm really excited, though, for a lot of other reasons. Like, Enigma, always fun to watch. Kunkka, one of my favorite heroes of all time. I feel like he does run into some trouble when people just run at you, and I feel like Bristleback can kind of do that. Like, a little bit of buffs with the boat, being able to just cast wherever you want. But do you think that could be a problem?
Not if Troll goes Silver Edge. Let's see what happens in the game. I think that's one of the things that wasn't really that great against the Bristle yesterday. Like, the Silver Edge came out way late, but Troll, I think, is a great Silver Edge builder. But maybe, like, we've seen a lot of Vlad's first. We've seen a lot of SNY, so maybe, like, Vlad's, Yasha, and a Silver Edge, I think, maybe. But even then, that's, like, 25 minutes.
Okay.
But Enigma, dude.
Enigma.
XSS's Enigma, I think, highly disappointed on day number 1. He was very slow with his black holes. He was very hesitant. And it was much different than his Magnus. Usually a good Magnus player would lead to a good Enigma player.
Right.
Because similar AoE. I would say Magnus is a little bit easier because you don't need to sit there and channel it, but it's still relatively similar. But hopefully he got those jitters out of the way.
Yeah, a little bit of a pause here. We're hearing some stuff in the production on our ear. Not sure if that's going to be resolved pretty shortly here. Hopefully it is, but as you guys can see, exactly.
You're so smooth.
I'm trying. We got to keep it all smooth. Cool as the other side of the pillow, Merlini. That's what's happening. You don't look impressed.
Cool as the other side of the pillow.
That's the expression. But yeah, a little bit maybe ambivalent feelings going on amongst the crowd here. You got VGJ. It's a really big fan favorite for those players.
It's always burning, dude.
I know that's the thing, right?
It's always burning. There's no question. Whether
but ROTK, though, and
dude,
FY.
Burning, man. Burning's popularity there is unrivaled.
Okay.
I don't even think there's a similar Western player that we can compare him to.
Yeah, we get a little bit antsy with our picks, just sort of back and forth whether who it is that's the favorite of the week. Whoever has the highest MMR at the time. China, they stay loyal to their. I mean, what was the big game for him? I remember like one lone druid game where he like farmed like 40,000.
He was way popular before that.
Really? Okay.
Yep. He's just been playing forever.
Yeah.
He's been playing for like 10 years.
And still playing here, showing up for the fans. That's the thing that's also really impressive to me about it, is that you have these players that have been around forever and still like are hungry to win, even though they've been winning for so long ago.
He doesn't have that TI championship under his belt.
Okay. That's what it all comes down to.
Or grand finals even.
Really?
I don't think so. He was on DK a couple of times, and they didn't make it to the grand finals ever.
Jeez. Well, certainly looking to try and make it happen, at least for here, and of course leading up to TI as well. We've been seeing a lot of good stuff out of China. As people say it's not necessarily their year, but I don't know. I don't think that stuff really ends up mattering that much. The like back and forth between Western teams and Chinese teams, who's going to take it? You believe in that?
Not necessarily. Not really. I think a big blow is Wings not playing and scrimming them, because I think like the Chinese teams scrim a lot against each other because China's a big region, and you know a lot of the NA teams will go over to Europe and boot camp over there, so you'll have like some inter-region mingling. But I think the Chinese region is a lot different because I think like SEA teams scrim mostly SEA teams, and then the Chinese teams mostly scrim Chinese teams because of the server issues. Like it's very difficult to play on Perfect World from SEA or Korea. So it's important that you have some sort of growth in there, or else your picks are going to be behind, stagnant, you know, last patch, and you're not going to get ideas. Ideas are very important in Dota, and it's underrated, I think, to be able to scrim against good teams.
Yeah, it's like an echo chamber almost, and it's not as if, like, even if you wanted to, it's hard to get visas sometimes to move into China and practice with the other teams, and you mentioned ping issues, so it's really left with everybody. I mean, I will say that it's kind of cool that they're all at about the same skill level-ish. You know, you have all these teams that play together a lot, all in the same region. They're all playing in Shanghai and, you know, doing what they can in that fashion. So it's just a question of, like, whether or not they're on the right tick of the meta or not. But, you know, we also heard the other day that ROTK is one of those players that likes to watch Western teams and, you know, get ideas from the games as well. But still a bit of a pause. I saw some applauses in the chat as well.
Just Baboka. Baboka. Sad trombone. Applause, applause. Crash and burn. Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun.
What a guy. He's been a character. I think that it's cool to see. Okay, it looks like we're getting word that there's some microphone problems with one of the players, so hopefully that does get resolved shortly. If it's just a mic, just go get a different headset. Believe in you guys. But yeah, it looks like we are getting the call right now to go, so we should be back into this game now. Game number 1 of a very long day of Dota 2. Hope you guys have gotten your popcorn ready.
I don't think switching out the microphones is as easy because a lot of the sound is they're like wired into the same box. Sometimes they don't use the voice over IP.
Oh. Okay.
Sometimes I don't know what the case is for here,
right.
But some of the other events they don't use voice over IP. They just all speak to each other directly.
Baboka and FY trading blows a little bit there. Oh my God, the taunt! I haven't seen the Kunkka taunt before. That's amazing.
That was pretty
Look
good.
At that. Oh my God, it plays some music as well.
His thing's decked out.
That is great. Oh man, Baboka, new favorite player. He is so happy just to be playing in this game right here. But yeah, early movements out. We did see that ward placed down. They're blocking out both of the off-lane camps.
Dude, he's still dancing.
I guess they picked up a little something from SG Esports, yeah? Where would
this is the most taunts that come out, though, before creep spawn, because there's not really that much to do.
Yeah. He already placed his wards, got some stuff out there. They're going to come and contest for this rune here and maybe make something happen. I mean, you can kind of shut down a Bristleback in some ways if you can kill him off before he starts to get to those levels up, right? Isn't that a fairly, I mean, it's not necessarily easy to do, but if they do decide to, you know, just keep a lot of heroes focused down in this area, maybe cause some trouble for Bristleback, as they will be able to secure themselves some runes. VGJ all around the map.
I'm trying to get our game sounds a little bit. It's hard to hear.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, in the early game, I think VGJ should have a better edge. Sniper does have the better matchup versus DP. They have Crystal Maiden on their team, and Juggernaut lanes are very difficult to lose. I think IG have the edge later on in team fight pending Enigma Black Holes. I also don't know what XSS is going to go for build-wise. He did skip over the mech in the earlier game that he played, and I'm not sure if that's going to be a trend that he's continuing. ROTK is getting bullied so hard over here. He might give up first blood.
Oh, get up there. See it. Oh, they caught it right on the edge. First blood drawn by Burning, taking down ROTK. And yeah, you were right. The crowd a little bit happy about that one.
Jakiro.
What a hero.
Jakiro, man. The double slow, this lane again. The Jakiro and the Troll Warlord level 1 troll is usually not something that most people are afraid of, but ROTK might die again on the top lane. He's getting gone on. There's a torrent.
Oh, right-click's coming through. They have the vision and going to be able to take him down. And this is sort of what I was alluding to, is that like it's the situation where you don't have that passive up yet and starts to take too much damage, just get brought down.
Yeah, Bristleback is extremely weak at level 1. I do think that is something that wasn't really utilized yesterday in dealing with the Bristleback. Yeah, if he farms up Ancient stacks and gets a level 6, level 7, he's going to be really strong, but offlaners have a big struggle getting to that phase where they're unkillable in lane. You know, ROTK has suffered twice. I mean, if you had any doubt whether or not they're cheering for Burning or not, come on, dude. Come on.
I don't know these things. I'm not in China. It's, you know, it's a little bit of a cultural phenomenon.
Burning always comes. There's always, every single land that IG is at or Burning's at, there will be Chinese fans in the front row cheering for Burning. Every single event.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to continue this nice start for them. Burning certainly causing some issues there for ROTK. We have seen ROTK now move back into the jungle, at least for a little bit, and try and maybe get some stacks off as well for himself. That's a way that this hero can catch back up. We'll have to keep our eyes on. In the mid lane, it's still met even in spite of the nice matchup for Freeze. Is it when the levels start to come up for Sniper that it becomes more difficult for DP?
I think it's the kill potential, I think, is much greater.
Oh, and with a haste on FY, this is going to be a nice little way to make it happen. Fenrir there as well for the root, and that is going to be OP going down.
Wow, he didn't even try to Spirit Siphon. I thought he might have tried to Spirit Siphon the Sand King to maybe hold off a little bit longer on the kill, but the thing about Sniper is it's very difficult to get in range for the Spirit Siphon because of his take aim.
Well, there is going to be a torrent, but not really much else besides getting to deny for Bobica, as he's already backed out again. And this is something that they're just going to have to be really cognizant of throughout this map, is those rotations that can come mid. In spite of the early deaths on ROTK, nice stuff there from VGJ.
Great haste from FY. And yeah, Freeze, Sniper DP isn't that lopsided of a matchup because Death Prophet's damage is way higher, and you can push out the wave a lot better because Sniper's shrapnel is, I would say, okay. Maybe even a little bit worse than okay at pushing out waves just because the cooldown so long. And they're going on Freeze right now. Boboka.
Oh, nicely played. They're going to be able to pull him back in. They go for the Fairy Fire, but X marks the spot. A very good spell, and that's going to be the death of the Sniper in the mid.
And that's why he saved his Spirit Siphon.
Yeah. Get me next time. I got you this time.
I wonder if he's going to try and do a lot of X shenanigans. He's actually not going for a bottle in the mid lane on Death Prophet. A little bit surprising.
You go for TP so that way they can X and TP back home?
Yeah, but you need a bottle or else you don't.
Yeah,
it used to be you used to TP back to a shrine, then use a shrine as you get X'd, but there's only 3 base shrines now. And I don't really know if they're going to be available for him to use because like junglers will use the shrines very early on. And one of them is, they're not even off cooldown yet right now. But with the bottle, it becomes way more efficient to TP back the fountain.
Okay. Well, for now, they still have some pretty good vision here, and OP's having a good time for himself. 22-9 so far versus the 16-8. The other big thing is you do see the Enigma up at 18, 19-7 so far as they're going on to the DP again in the mid lane. They have the root as well, and OP Spirit Siphon trying to stay alive, but it's not going to be enough. They find the kill again. Strong roaming support combo.
Yeah, definitely something that they need to be aware of. They don't have a great defensive support to help out the DP. Sometimes you will see like treads on Death Prophet just so they can be a little bit more tanky, but alternatively you can go for move speed so you can get a lot more Spirit Siphons off in the fight. It looks like he is going for the movement speed option. Okay. No raindrops on him, surprisingly too.
Top tower is under attack.
For the for either of them, or just
you need a more for Death Prophet. You just need to stay alive so you can Spirit Siphon. Staying alive is priority number 1 on Death Prophet. Like it's not one of those heroes that oh you got your spells off in the fight, you're good. It's you have to stay alive throughout the entire fight. You want your Exorcism to continue through the tower push. You want to be able to get that heal from the Exorcism too. Right. And without having raindrops, you might die again here.
Baiting it out. FY is going to be able to get that initiation. The torrent to try and break it up, but it was never going to be enough. They decide to get a little bit aggressive on Freeze, and again, you see all this movement in towards mid, and it's not really coming at the cost of the rest of them.
Their Observer Ward is on the north side, but all the ganks have been coming from the south side, at least from FY. FY also getting a ton of stacks off, so ROTK can catch back up later in the game. And I think they do need some plays from the Enigma possibly quite soon. He did go for Arcane Boots into Midas, so no sign of mech yet.
Interesting.
That's an early tower.
Yeah, that's real early. And they're not going to be able to get one in return, I think, against Enigma. Because, I mean, he can even just lay down Midnight Pulse if they really try to push. He's level 6 already on XXS. Yeah, this might be a pretty good timing. Do you see him trying to make a kill happen with the Black Hole, or is it more something where somebody rotates to his lane and they kill off the Jug?
Last time we saw him play, it was more he just wanted to farm up. They weren't that eager to use Black Hole, I would say. I think they can push quite easily, but the problem is they don't have any items to do so. Like, if you want to group up, you're just going to have to rely on, like, Exorcism plus Liquid Fire, which is not that bad per se, but it's still much safer to do so when you have the mech under your belt. But without the mech, I would say it's just better to sit back and farm. Don't have the onus on you to have to cast Black Hole. There are a lot of stacks coming out from VGJ, though, so I think the farming game is going to go VGJ's favor.
Yeah, we see that there's that Ancient stack that got done on the Radiant side again. I'm not sure what quite that is up to at this point.
That might be worth exorcisming if they have vision of it. They don't with that Observer Ward on top of the trees block it, but that's a lot of gold. It is a 3-stack right. I don't even know if Exorcism will kill it.
That's a lot of Ancients.
Oh, they're going over there.
Oh, they were right on top of that ward, though. So this should be
dangerous.
scouted.
They don't actually know where they're going, though, because Sniper is the obvious target, but they don't see Sniper on the minimap right now. He's huddled behind the T1. And now they will at least get wind of the stack. Yeah. And hopefully they were trying to catch ROTK maybe doing a stack right there. But I wonder what their game plan is going to be now that they see the stacks. FY, catching up on Boca.
There's a nice little spot here. He's able to get a Burrow Strike onto both of them. This could be really big, but they pop the Exorcism for OP. I don't know if this is going to end up being super effective. Fenrir trying to run away. The Root keeping him alive for the moment as they weren't able to chase, and now OP maybe in some trouble. The Burrow Strike and the Assassinate doesn't even need to come out. They take him down.
That Observer Ward, though, next to the Shrine, that's something that was not very expected, especially because the two supports were coming from the south side a lot. IG are probably wondering how they were able to place that Observer Ward there, or how they knew that gank was coming.
Yeah. God, and XSS walking in with the Invis Rune. Imagine if that was just like a couple of seconds earlier. Granted, there wasn't a Sentry Ward placed down in the mid lane, so they also spotted the Enigma heading over, but yeah, value Observer Ward. Buy him, everybody, if you're playing support. It's worth it.
Definitely in this particular spot, too. 2 and 1. But the IG has not been very good about playing around the Enigma. It's just they haven't used Hole, and I don't foresee them grouping up anytime soon, even though they probably should given their lineup. You see Death Prop, you see Liquid Fire, you see Enigma. That is a very good lineup to group up and take towers down with, but that is not going to be their game plan, especially against VGJ's formidable AoE and better early game, I would say, with Death Prophet having 4 deaths.
Oh, God. Well, maybe this is the play right here. They move in, and it doesn't look like they're actually going to be able to catch aggressive. Maybe this is just towards the Tier 1 push, and you don't quite have level 6 on Bobica, so not having that run buff could be a little bit scary.
Yeah, but I don't see any of VGJ's members coming over. They do have a TP on a Sniper if they want to drop from Shrapnels, but it's not like Juggernaut can really deal with this push that easily himself. If he tries to spin in, he'll just get Black Hold.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Aggressive. FY is still here. He's almost level 6, so maybe by the time, yeah, it looks like they are going to be bringing heroes down with that smoke rotation. They're not going to have Epicenter up yet, although level or 10-minute mark means Tome of Knowledge. So they could try and bring it into them. Scary stuff.
They know something's up, though. No one's mid. No one's showing mid, and they have an Observer Ward, and no one's pinging out on the Observer Ward. So Tires use scan. They're expecting a smoke gank. Not exactly sure which side it is, but they will play it safe because Burning is the only one that's far away from the towers right now.
What's this all chat? What the hell is happening? That's interesting.
Xingma is can we, but or is it allowed? But I don't know what the other one says.
Okay. Well, there was an X play that came out right there. Where they were smoking in, and then he ended up breaking the smoke with the Kunkka. FY is here again. Okay, Q in some trouble, bro. Not quite on the mark, though. He's still going to tank the Assassinate, but should not be the death of him. No, with the Caustic, this actually should be. You're going to be able to try and turn it around and get some damage out, but you're able to slow him down enough to kill off that Shakiro.
FY's conversion rates on these ganks is ridiculously high. Like, how many times has he just been able to come in with Sand King and just get kill after kill after kill after kill? He's 1-0-5. He's been involved in every single one of his kills, and I don't think any of his ganks have failed yet, which is pretty incredible for a Sand King. Normally, you'll struggle a lot in the early levels to get kills because of the low range on Burrow Strike, but just makes it easy.
Poor Fenrir in the bottom lane. Yeah, it's definitely true. And aggressive actually in some trouble as well. Gonna have to spin away from this one. It's sort of been a revelation over the past couple weeks in China, the Sand King in the position 4 and making moves happen. Also being able to get into the later stages, like some solid initiation that doesn't commit too much of a cooldown. It's been quite strong, but cool to see them playing it here and getting stuff done early as well.
ROTK also going for the Vanguard over the mech. Vanguard is good versus Eidolon. It's pretty decent versus Troll, but it doesn't do anything versus Death Prophet, I would say. So I'm not sure how I feel about it. Maybe like Stout plus a Cloak plus mech. I don't know. I think the mech would be pretty good versus them because I foresee a lot of team fights coming out later on. But Vanguard's a little bit better for farming, especially if you're doing Ancients a lot.
Yeah. Did we see the sniper going for the Midas earlier, by the way? I thought I saw him trying to pick that one up.
Yep, because of Hasten and Midas.
So it's sort of that whole idea of VGJ right now is wait out the game a little while. They got the sniper, make that type of play.
In which case, they probably should have gotten the Midas, though, on the Bristleback, right?
Right, yeah.
Because if you don't plan on fighting early, and your Bristleback already had like a kind of weak early game, he's not that high in terms of net worth, especially relative to his counterpart, the Enigma. If you do want to play the farm game,
yeah,
might be worth considering.
Well, this is going to be, maybe he goes for it next. Maybe he goes Vanguard into Midas. I don't know if that's the build, but
he could.
FY Invisor in here. He does also have Epicenter. This could be the death of XXS. They're moving in. They spot him out. Nova, they want to go for it.
He's very far away, and he has Midas off cooldown. That's probably what called him to go away.
Stalking, but not wanting to move in yet.
Get the Midas off.
Burrow, Epi, wanting to find this kill. He does drop down the damage and is going to be slowed down enough. This should be the death of him. Midas going to stay on cooldown.
Yeah, they're having a lot of issues protecting Enigma. It's like the Enigma just, like, he was too late to the mid. There's no one backing him up in this bottom lane. There was an Invis hero on top of him, but despite that, he still either should have been able to get his Midas off or not push out that far alone. But like, they should be able to convert onto one of these towers in mid lane, or his team needs to be sitting behind him so they can save him and turn around with a big black hole. But it's 14 minutes in, black hole has not been used.
Yeah, it is definitely feeling a little bit rough here, and maybe now you can start to make some type of those movements. Or I guess the other thing too is you're talking about it, like waiting for that mechanism to eventually come out might be the better option at this point. Although if you wait, then you're also giving more time for those hand of Midases, which is done now in the sniper, to get more value and into their next tier of items. But they will shrine up now. 3 heroes grouped.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think you want to play the stacking and farming game versus VGJ. Their lineup, I think, is just way better at taking out stacks. Sand King and Bristle from the non-sniper and Juggernaut hero. Pretty much all their heroes can take out stacks very easily. You can even use Freezing Field because of the slow pace of the game right now. And like, they can farm all the camps too. Like, normally you'll have some trouble farming Ancients. Like, Dire Side can't farm Ancient stacks that well.
Oh, maybe making something happen here. Bobica has a DD as well. They're going to pop Exorcism to defend their towers, but this isn't going to get any kills. Like, they have Healing Ward down. They'll get the deny. It doesn't feel like IG are under pressure to make things happen here.
No, they're just waiting for Enigma to get more items, it looks like, and maybe just waiting for the GPM talent to kick in, but that's a little 15. That's still going to be 5 minutes or so for them to get that gold running. But yeah, they do have the Vlads up on Troll, so they could force a Roach with their superior team fight. Actually, I don't even know if it's that much superior, because Sand King, his gold count is at 2250. So that's a Blink Dagger coming out right here.
Well, there is going to be a Torrent. Bobica searching for this and might end up getting punished. In fact, he throws out the boat to try and create that separation, but still Omni Slash down, killed off, and now looking for more. Aggressive. Very much living up to his namesake.
Yeah, I mean, IG just really haven't done anything in the past 10 minutes, I would say. Did not protect DP, haven't played around Black Hole, so what's the next play? Play around your Troll, maybe? So to secure Roach, maybe stack some Ancients for him so they can come out ahead in the economic game. The net worth lead is not so bad for either side, but I think just like the pace of the game is that VGJ are just getting a lot more around the map, and they've invested in like the Midas on Sniper, which I would say is quite greedy in this situation. He's not your normal Midas hero.
That's not really going to be punished super heavily, at least, or if at all. And the other thing, too, is it's sort of like split push maybe could be one of the answers, but it's difficult to do that now that Sand King has his Blink Dagger up. Potential for finding pickoffs around the map could be quite high. So next couple of minutes, do you expect to see VGJ try and make moves with that Blink Dagger for Sand King, or try and force down like maybe this bottom tier 1 tower?
That's a long way to go. It's very difficult for them to push. They're tower hitters. It's pretty much just a sniper at this point. But he doesn't have any items. He just has like phase Midas in terms of damage.
Okay. Uh-oh. You're going to get burrow struck, and, well, just epicenter. We're not going to use it. Might as well just kill you off with it.
They're at that point, though, where it doesn't matter if they use ults, because it's not like IG going to, oh, my God, epicenter's down, let's push. They just don't have that mentality right now.
Yeah.
They're still trying to play the economic game, maybe wait for BKB up on Troll. I see that in his next quick buy. I thought he was going to go for the Shadow Blade. I did see that on his quick buy earlier, so looks like he is still deciding, but I think they feel like they should group up soon. There's no point in picking some of these heroes if you aren't going to teamfight ever. They might as well just pick like a 3 greedy core lineup and play the same way, and it would have been to the same effect. ROTK looks like he is going to start on Roshan.
Interesting. So moving in, trying to take this one away from him. Certainly, if there was any desire for IG to make something happen, if they steal away the Aegis at this point, it would make quite hard for IG to accomplish that. But they are going to get that scan, connects onto the rest of VGJ as they're heading out of the pit, and they don't want to give this one away for free, certainly. So, still waiting for that big movement in, playing it safe to the best of their abilities.
ROTK just picked up Medallion, so they have really good Roach potential. IG should be able to do it too with the Troll, with Lifesteal and the Death Prophet, but they were just not interested in that at all, and ROTK just...
Oh, FY! Fancy movements right there, and that's boat down. They're actually going to be able to get out of here because of that.
Yeah, I don't think Roach is going to be a thing now.
They're TPing in to come and try and defend it potentially, but I mean, they might just end up being in a ton of trouble. The Torn is going to connect on there, but IG realizing the error of their ways, and they're just going to back out.
That was a really smart Medallion pickup by Bristleback, though. I think it made it probably would have been at like, what, maybe like 20% maybe at that point without the Medallion. But yeah, well, it was a good pickup. Secures on Roche and IG. Now, do you want a team fight when they have the Aegis on the opposite side? And Juggernaut's far more likely to get Black Hole than Sniper, so they will throw the Aegis of the Immortal on him.
Yeah, and we saw there the Blink Dagger is done for the Enigma. And it's something to be said that we haven't really seen this IG team fight with all of those items up yet. How do you see those fights sort of working out with the Aegis? Do you just like walk up there with the Aegis carry and start hitting towers, or you just use this one more for farming mechanisms?
I think they can just farm. They're okay with that.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting big. They can stack up freely. It's just burning they kind of have to worry about. Death Prophet is not very farmed and can't power farm as fast as a lot of other heroes, and they keep giving up free deaths here because Q is trying to play like 1437. But the thing is, like, they're not out farming them at this rate. They're not. You need to commit 2 heroes to kill him, and FY has been involved in so many of these kills, and their lanes also aren't pushed out. So as soon as they kill Chikiro, they can get a +1 on the tower.
And Bristleback is just like running uphill. He does not care at all about anything. RTK farming Eidolons. That's tier 1 tower down. VGJ just looking to walk right at IG's base, and there's not a whole hell of a lot they can do about it.
The only thing that IG has done well this game is kill ROTK twice at the start.
Yeah.
Aside from that, honestly, they haven't done anything. Just farm up and not use Black Hole. Exorcism was used like once, I think, to try and go for... it was used once to defend off the tower that wasn't really defended at all.
All right, a little impressive. Taken down aggressive. Now I'm going to be able to move back in and still most likely secure the tower.
But look at Sand King's positioning. Sand King is ready to stun the Enigma if he always tries to go for a Black Hole.
Yeah.
or try and jump them if they are slightly out of position.
I mean, there was that ward there, and still IG had just had no way to really walk in and try and stop them from making that play. I think that Enigma's getting closer to BKB at this point. Thought I saw the Ogre Club in his inventory, but still a little ways away. 21 minutes in, 4-10. They also do have all of the Tier 1 towers down right now for the Dire, as well as the bottom Tier 2.
I think even BKB's not going to be that great, because they still need a good Black Hole to win the fight, but even Black Hole's not going to save them. Bristleback can turn his back, and Juggernaut spin too, so both pretty good. Sniper has exceptionally long range, so he's not really that worried about it. So it's very difficult to set up for a good Black Hole. You
know what the strat is? You Black Hole the Bristleback, and then as he turns, his back then ends up not being to him.
Wow. That is some next level stuff.
All right.
That would be so difficult to pull off.
Yeah. No, definitely. It's a beautiful dream, but whether or not it actually happens. Solar Crest done for DP. More of these items coming online. We've talked about ways in which that can burst through a hero really quickly, giving the minus armor. Not as good as it was in the last patch, but still pretty freaking good.
So that's going to be a late Silver Edge from them.
Yeah. Just have to go for the BKB first. There's too much control otherwise. Sand King and CM just make this quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah, he definitely needs BKB at some point. I just wasn't sure whether he was going to get SB.
Oh, no. Oh, God, the X. Are they going to kill him? Oh, I thought that they were just going to end up burning that smoke for nothing, but X didn't end up working out in time.
Still no BKB up on an Enigma, so it looks like mid tower is likely going to fall, especially off the back of this aggressive who is hitting for almost 300 damage. Yeah, so this tower is pretty much dead. They're so close to BKB, they might as well just wait for it.
Oh.
But
FY, Omni Slash onto XXS, he's gone! Oh no! And now 45 seconds, you don't want to have to buy back on Enigma at this point.
Yeah, this might just be over pretty soon too. At this pace, like there's just no fight in IG. No spell coordination coming out. As Burning has been farming off on his lonesome for a very long time. He is still the leader in net worth by a good margin, so that is a big positive for IG, but it's very difficult for him to match up to these heroes just because I think he's going to get kited, even with the BKB. Like, you're going to have a hard time focusing on the Bristleback, you're going to have a hard time getting to the Sniper. So BKB is not going to guarantee him any kills.
It's a really cool build by Aggressive, the Manta into Blink, because now you have that ability to jump in immediately following the Sand King and blow somebody up at the start of a fight, and at that point IG, if they were able to stay even on, 5-on-5 terms, 4-on-5 certainly not.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job of spreading out against the Enigma with like the Blink Dagger on the Juggernaut that you mentioned. It allows them to not clump up, and not clumping is super important. That's the only way IG win a team fight, is if maybe 2, maybe 3 people get Black Hole into a boat, into Ultimate Silence, Ice Path, all that good stuff is going to come out from them, but only if they get Black Hole.
Right. Now, Boboka will do his best here. In terms of like heroes that could end up becoming something this patch, Kunkka certainly feels like it, but we sort of have seen him running into the problem in this game where if you just run at this guy, there's not a whole lot he can do to stop that from happening. And just across the board, VGJ making those moves, and maybe a little bit of passive play from IG that's been punished.
Yeah. They already have the Yule Scepter on FY to deal with the Kunkka too, so
yeah.
The X is not that big of a deal for them. And they are completely comfortable with fighting right now, despite IG having some very strong team fight ultimates.
BKB about to be online for the Enigma. I think I saw it was about 8 gold away from him. So it's something, again, like these items that you've been building towards, this big team fight that you eventually want to take. It feels like it's coming close, but they might not even get an opportunity to if Burning got picked off there. Oh, that would have been tragic.
That would be really difficult. They'd have to channel Epicenter from the smoke and assassinate him during the Bro Strike for them to get the kill. That's very hard to pull off.
The BKB, right? So
yeah, well, yeah, you can get all that on him before the BKB pops, though.
Okay.
But it's not easy. It's too risky.
Heard a Shadow Blade. They're moving in. Fenrir, maybe the one who's going to tank this gank, as Burning spots him out and a quick and easy kill. No chance for the CM. FY, does he get out as well? It looks like he should be able to make the escape. So the TP away is going to be there. So is this IG's time? Have they finally gotten the items up that allows them to take the fights that they want to take?
It looks like it with the BKB off of the Enigma, but it's still a little risky. Let's see. Sniper has just Maelstrom and Blink. He even went for a Blink too. So his damage is actually not that great during BKB. He has really poor damage. Headshot is going to do minimal damage. They have Maelstrom too, so like his right click during BKB is atrocious.
Are they just going to do this? They're just walking up on the high ground. They force out the glyph. Going to back out again. I guess just wanting to get heroes to rotate back for VGJ.
They're making a statement, dude.
Yeah.
We will hit your T3 if you let us.
After farming 26 minutes, we will hit it once and run away.
You don't want to come in at that point, though. If you use your ultimates right now and you lose a fight, VGJ could take Roach for free. Right. I think the risk is way too high for them, especially when Troll can solo Roach at this point, if they're given any sort of breathing room on the map.
Yeah. So it's only a 2,500 net worth lead right now for VGJ. Roche, number 2, certainly becoming so much more important since those changes in the patch, giving cheese at this point. And they're actually going to get a gem as well for the Sand King. So just try and scrunch up that vision that you have for IG and maintain map control.
The Mjolnir just picked up by Sniper could be a really big deal because they can throw it on Bristleback, and there's going to be so much damage that you can't avoid. Like he can like kind of stand in the Macropyre, like when he gets hit by Dual Breath, Midnight Pulse, Exorcism. There's all these things that you can't really control that can proc the Maelstrom or proc the Mjolnir over and over and over again. And ROTK is thinking up that the Mjolnir buff on him would absolutely destroy IG, and they don't have a way to take off the buff either. So that's something that's quite scary.
That's moving in now for ROTK. This is a very tanky person to try and take down. Stunned up for the moment, but look at how much HP this guy has. They are starting to tear through him, though, and ROTK is going to fall. Uh-oh. That was not the way it was meant to go.
Where was his team? His team was not there to back him up over there. ROTK is pretty tanky. He has a lot of mitigation, and his back was turned towards them most of the time. I think the Troll went on the opposite side of him. Right. But now IG finally seeing some fight in them now that they have their BKBs up.
Well, they have the Solar Crest down on Roche. It's going to fall very quickly. They buy back into the game for Bristleback, and immediately IG decided they did not want to take that fight yet.
There's no Exorcism on Death Prophet, but Roche is way too low to leave alone. That thing is, you do not want to leave this pit.
Yeah, this is such a scary situation. XXS has that black hole available as well. The Blink, BKB, it's all there. This could be one of those moments. The Ice Path goes out. Still hanging on to it.
ROTK is getting those Warpath stacks up right now.
They got to be careful. The gem is there for FY still.
Great Blink by Freeze.
Oh, ROTK. They had to use the Exorcism last time to kill him off. Aggressive in the pit now. I don't know if they realized that he was there. He blinked into this. Now throwing out more of those. The Macropyre is down as well. Burning, gonna run in. He gets Eul Scepter lifted up. Black Hole is down. It's on to 2. The boat is there as well. They're gonna bring him down. Burning is gonna pick up the Aegis as well. Buyback immediately from Aggressive. They need to take this fight, but is it gonna be enough? Burning is back, baby. They're running in. They're trying to find a kill with the Epicenter. It's gonna be more than enough. FY saving the day. Aggressive came in with the Omni Slash on top of it. Burning is still alive here though. You can hear the teams yelling crazily right now, but Aggressive looks to potentially be going down. FY, the Shrine, the Glimmer came and saving its life. XSS is there. Oh my goodness gracious, and now being kited. Burning in trouble. Aggressive being oppressive, trying to kill him off. It's not quite there. OP has the Haste Rune as well. They're going to be able to run down FY, it looks like. Trying to get out, but they got the kill. Oh my goodness gracious.
Wow, them building all these mobility items, they can't kill Burning. They don't have any damage right now. They have, all these defensive items up on the Bristleback, like the multiple blinks on their cores too. Burning's damage was just incredible that entire fight, and Exodus has delivered on a huge black hole inside the pit.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the other thing too is they didn't even end up burning through the Aegis.
Nope. They would have loved to. And OP stayed alive for most of that fight. Actually, I think the entire fight. And he is straight going for heart.
So how much does that change the complexion of this game now? There were 2 buybacks used. They have the Aegis there for IG. They took the fight that they wanted to take. It felt like it was into their favor, certainly.
IG?
Yeah,
definitely. Because Burning is now huge relative to the other cores. Ooh. And he just slaughters people.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the sniper build, like going Hand of Midas and Blink is just not good for damage purposes. Like he has to run away during the BKB. Normally you want your sniper to be able to force them to back away during the BKB, but I can understand where he's going with it. You want the Maelstrom to help you farm faster, and he's afraid of getting Black Cold, so he does want to get the Blink Dagger. But what happens when the BKBs are popped? Are you going to run away? You're the big core that's supposed to be the threatening core.
Yeah.
Juggernaut also can't do any damage versus BKB because he has the Fusel Blade, Manta.
Oh, Fenrir maybe in some trouble being pulled back in, and OP is there. Be able to deal enough damage. The Ice Path as well. Spirit Siphon down, dead. Yes, indeed. Fenrir is gone. Oh, this is looking quite scary for VGJ.
Burning is just massive. So big at this point.
With the I mean, they've got the Exorcism there. They're taking this down. Aegis still in hand. ROTK maybe in some trouble in a little bit here as well. They have burned through the Aegis. Looking forward there. They're able to find that kill, but OP now maybe in some trouble as well. There's going to be the jump forward Black Hole. They've caught him. That's on to 2. They're doing no damage at all with the Sniper, and now they're going to be able to bring down both the Jug and the Sniper. The Torrent up on FY. Burning never gave a damn his entire life.
Baited, dude.
GG, they're done. Oh.
That was a slow 25 minutes from IG, but it seems like they were just waiting for the BKBs to pop up. I don't think that their individual play was actually that great that game, but their team fight was still far superior, especially once Burning